You are listening to a podcast by Hope Bible Church Niagara. We are located in St. Catharines, Ontario, and you can join us on Sunday mornings at 8:45 and 11 a.m. You are loved. Welcome back to the Hope Niagara Podcast. My name is Hannah. I am your host, and today I am joined by a special guest, our church planting resident, but now really just church planter and future lead pastor of Hope Bible Church Welland, Andrew Restrepo. And we're going to hear a little bit of his story today, some of the vision for the church. This is just a really exciting time for Hope Niagara, the Great Commission Collective as a whole, to be planting a church in Welland. And so, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and then tell us how God brought you here to Hope Niagara in the first place.
Yeah, so as Hannah said, my name's Andrew Restrepo. God's blessed me with a wonderful family. I have my wife Tony and our two little girls with us. And we originally came from Toronto before we came to St. Catharines, and I've practiced social work for over 15 years. And when I became a Christian, I had vowed to God that I'd serve him for the rest of my life, and never imagined it would be as a full-time minister of the gospel or anything like that. But I decided to really commit myself to just serving in the local church, just as a small group leader, serving on worship ministry, those types of things. But eventually, COVID happened in the world, everything shut down, and at that point, my family started reassessing just where we're located and where we're living at in life, and we decided to make the journey over to St. Catharines. Prior to coming to St. Catharines, we were part of a church called Hope Church Toronto West with Pastor Jason Mata and Andrew Chia. And so when we moved to St. Catharines, Hope Bible Church Niagara seemed like a really natural fit, and so we visited for a while, and we decided to stay here. We became members quite quickly, and eventually started serving on worship ministry and serving as small group leaders.
Yeah, that's awesome. We have loved having you and Tony as a part of our church, and such a cool story of that connection through the GCC and bringing you here to Hope Niagara. And so now that you've been our church planting resident for over a year, I think that term can be a little bit people just don't know what it means. We use it, but they're unsure what that all means. And so why don't you tell us about what that role is and how God led you to being the church planting resident here? How is he working in your life?
So when we came to Hope Bible Church Niagara, I had let Pastor Ross eventually know, hey, I aspire to be an elder someday. I just figured I'd volunteer my time and serve, maybe preaching here and there, but really shepherding God's people is where my heart is at. And so Pastor Ross took that quite seriously, and he began to meet with me probably over the period of a year, a couple of times a month. Just to get to know me better, to discern really what my call to ministry is. And he began to assess me, but also mentor me in a lot of ways. And then I eventually entered into a type of formal assessment, both here at Hope Bible Church Niagara and also with the Great Commission Collective. And so I sat in front of the elders, preached for the elders, we spoke about theology quite a bit, and the whole process was really saturated in prayer for the elders and with my family as well. And after I passed the assessment for the Great Commission Collective and I checked all the boxes here at Hope Bible Church Niagara, that's when I was formally invited to become the church planting resident here at Hope Niagara. Now what that looks like, it looks like various things. It really begins with hands-on experience. And so at Hope Bible Church Niagara, I got plugged into all the different type of ministries just for short seasons to figure out what are these ministries, how do they function, and if I'm going to plant a church, God willing, one day, then I need to know what these ministries look like. And so that looked like serving in Hope Kids ministry and volunteering there, serving on the welcome team and volunteering there at one point, worship ministry, production ministry, small group ministry, just getting into the life of the church in several ways. And then after the hands-on experience, there was also a theological training that I received. So when you become a church planter through the Great Commission Collective, for the first year, they have a curriculum for you where you have to read multiple books every month, and you have to pretty much do assignments for those books, do book reports, answer reflective questions, and then you're supposed to meet with your Great Commission Collective mentor, who happened to be Pastor Ross, and discuss what you're reading and discuss the things of God. And so I would do that with Ross on a week-to-week basis while I was working for my first year here at Hope Bible Church Niagara. The next thing is I got preaching training. And so what that looked like is I got opportunities to preach here at church, whether it was a prayer and praise or during one of our youth group services. And sometimes I was sent to other churches in Peterborough and Buffalo and all around the place. And I was given a preaching team that would assess my sermons and let me know whether I was doing really well or really poorly. But the good thing is it was constructive criticism that I could really reflect on and make improvements on for the future. And then the last thing was I received plenty of international training as well. And so what that looked like is since September of last year, I've been flown out to the United States multiple times by the Great Commission Collective in order to receive training at various of the churches that are part of the GCC, and also to fellowship and really form relationships with the 14 other church planters in the United States. And so that's really what my role here has looked like, although now my role looks much different because we've officially entered our core group phase for the church planting initiative. And so I meet on a weekly basis with a group of brothers and sisters who have committed to help plant this church in Welland, and we meet weekly. We study the Bible together, we pray together, and eventually we will be forming the ministries behind Hope Bible Church Welland before it's launched.
Wow. That is so amazing. So much there, like so much in such a short time, but such a beautiful just testimony of the discipleship and the intentional like training and care for you as you prepare to shepherd God's people, right? Like not only through Pastor Ross, but also through the GCC and just the church planting, curriculum and program that they have set up is just so awesome and so thorough, and it just really seeks to have you be prepared. And I'm sure you're very thankful for that, and we are as well, and we're excited. And I know for myself, and I'm sure I can speak for the other staff as well, that it's been really cool to watch you grow and just like put your hands in every different area of ministry and just get a taste for what each of those things is like and who you need on board to help with that and where your strengths are, and people on the core group where their strengths are, all that good stuff. And so, for your church plant, like what is the vision and the goal? And like, just tell us about like, what is Hope Bible Church Welland? Like, what is it all about?
Yeah, if I were going to summarize it in just two different phrases, it's to be gospel-centered and to have gospel impact. So to be gospel-centered means to make the gospel of Jesus Christ the center of everything that we do. Really what we're looking to do in Welland is to plant a church like Hope Bible Church Niagara. We want to be like our sending church. So an easy way to think of that is to think of our 5 pillars that are all about preaching and prayer and being a witness of Jesus Christ and adoration and community. We want to make these 5 things really core things, pillars in our church, that we can bring to Welland. What we found as we started assessing whether to plant in Welland or not is that there is a great need for more Bible-centered, gospel-centered churches. And so although there are several churches that are doing a great job in Welland, there's a need for so many more churches in Welland to be proclaiming the gospel of Jesus Christ. So that's what we want to do. We want to go establish a gospel-centered church that is similar to the church that we have here in St.Catharines and Hope Bible Church Niagara. And then the second thing we want to do really is to have a great gospel impact. And so Welland is a place with a very diverse group of people, and there are actually a lot of people who don't know Jesus Christ. There are a lot of people not attending a local church, and there are a lot of people who are just not saved and need to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so we want to do our best to be visible in the community. We want to be vocal in the community, and we want to be active in the community. And so we really want to put our best foot forward to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to people in Welland in a spirit of great love and compassion. And so we don't want to just tell people about Jesus Christ on Sunday by being a gospel-centered church, but throughout the rest of the week, God willing, we don't know exactly what it'll look like, but we really hope to be the hands and feet of Jesus in the community, to partner with other churches and ministries to really spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to anyone that would receive that message or hear that message. So yeah, that's what we're looking to do.
Wow, that is so exciting. Just so good to hear about all of that. And even, I know you guys have like some partnerships with some organizations in Welland already that you're working closely with. And that is just, yeah, it's so good. Like, I don't know what else to say. I'm just like really excited. And it's really encouraging to see your passion, and as like the core group's passion and your like launch coordinators that are working with you, like just the passion to see the gospel go forward and God to be glorified. And yeah, for there to be gospel impact in Welland. So we're really excited about that. But thank you so much for sharing and for coming on here. And I know it's a little bit intimidating, but I think you did a really good job. And thank you so much for everybody who is listening. We just want to ask that you would join us in prayer for Hope Bible Church Welland, as well as for Andrew and Tony and the core group, and just everything that is going in to this church plant. One of the 5 pillars, like part of like being a 5G disciple, is praying and prayer, and we cannot do any of this without prayer. And so we want to ask you and invite you to join us in prayer for Hope Bible Church Welland, for provision, for unity, for fruit, for gospel impact, for all this stuff that Andrew was talking about. Yeah, we invite you to pray with us for those things. And also, if you are living in Welland, or you have a friend in Welland who's looking for a church, share this podcast with them. I'm sure they would love to know about it, and we would love for them to join us as well. And yeah, just this is a crazy, exciting season of watching what God is doing, and it is really cool to be a part of. And so, yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you guys next time.